Hey guys, welcome to another video here on the AviationPro channel. It's time for another VATSIM full flight, and I'm gonna say good morning to you because it's actually morning, and that doesn't happen very often when flying on VATSIM. But this Sunday morning we have some special events going on. There's the FS weekend at Lelystad, and the DutchVACC controllers there will likely, I hope, control live from that location and provide some ATC at Amsterdam. And our flight that we're going to make is from Amsterdam to Innsbruck, because in Innsbruck, in Austria in general, there's the Finally Austria event going on with, I believe, about 32 hours of non-stop ATC. So they also went through the night. So it's a kind of a perfect opportunity to fly a morning flight on VATSIM for a change. And again, this doesn't happen very often. So we got some nice daylight, and I hope this flight will work out properly, and we'll have some nice weather on our way into Innsbruck, which of course is a very challenging and interesting destination. Fun fact, this flight is running on biofuel actually, so we should not have to be ashamed for flying this flight. And let me just take you through the flight plan a little bit. It's still a bit early. I only expect ATC to pop up in an hour, but just to be sure, I already logged in and all that stuff, so that if ATC does pop up, we can go ahead and depart. Okay, so we'll be flying Transavia tonight, this morning I have to say. We're going to be flying Transavia 9er X-ray, or 99 X-ray I think will also work for this call sign. And again, Amsterdam to Innsbruck, and let me just take you a little bit through the flight plan for today. So as you can see, here's an overview of the fuel that we're going to carry. I've loaded 8,600 kilograms of fuel for this flight. Likely it's going to be busy maybe at Innsbruck, of course, because there's an event going on, and I want to fly the localizer DME East approach, so we might have to hold. So I took plenty of extra fuel with me also for the go-around procedure, which of course there is a little bit more tricky than your usual go-around procedure. We'll review that once we get closer to Innsbruck during this flight. So as you can see, plenty of extra fuel, and let me just show you the route. We're going to be flying the Randy 1 Echo departure. That's plans runway 18 left, but maybe runway 24 will be actually active. And we're going to be flying this flight at flight level 350. So as you can see, we're carrying 165 passengers, a little bit of cargo, and we have a nice takeoff weight, nice landing weight, as you can see. Here are all the waypoints. Well, probably not very interesting to view right now. Let me just scroll through to the significant weather chart so we can take a look at the weather. So as you can see, this is our route. This route is taking kind of towards the east side of Innsbruck. You could also fly a route that takes you more to the west side, and then fly the R&B approach to runway 08, which I think is going to be active. But of course, for the challenge, we'll do the localized DME East approach with the visual circle to land. So this is the route that we're going to take. As you can see, there's some significant weather stuff right here. Some turbulence and icing, but it should be no factor. We should be flying over that. But during the descent, we might pick up some icing and turbulence, so we have to be aware of that. As you can see, for flight level 190 and flight level 180 and below, all the way to ground level. So that's something we have to take into account during the descent. Other than that, we have a nice southern westerly wind, as you can see. So we have quite a bit of crosswind and later on a little bit of headwind during this flight as we approach into Innsbruck. Okay, so yeah, this gives you a bit of an overview. You can see here another map. Of course, Innsbruck, we have the issue of high terrain, which we have to deal with. So we'll carefully review the arrival procedure once we get closer. Fun fact, as you can see, here's the blue dotted line. That's the tropopause height. When you cross that, you might expect some turbulence as well. So we're kind of crossing that probably, at our top of climb, so we might experience some turbulence there. So let's see if that actually happens. Running active sky. So that's a bit of a flight overview for you. Let me just pick up the latest weather from the meters at both airports. So currently the wind at Amsterdam is 170 degrees 9 knots, variable between 140 and 200. Visibility is good, view at 700, temperature 9 or dew point 8, QNH 0983. That's really low, there's a low pressure area around. At Innsbruck, the wind is 260 degrees 3 knots right now, so maybe runway 26 is in favor right now, but I read from the tab already that the wind's going to change to more towards 080. and quite gusty. So it's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens once we arrive. Visibility is good. Light rain, view at 4,000, scattered 7,000, broken 200, temperature 8.7, QNH 992. So the clouds are just high enough for the visual approach, which takes place at 3,700 feet, and the general visibility is also good, especially when the wind picks up. The visibility in that area should be good as well. So not the best weather, but it's okay, we can deal with it. And I just saw that Amsterdam approach actually popped online, so that's interesting. We might actually be able to get going slowly, and looking forward to flying with the new audio for VATSIM, of course, again as well. So let's see how this goes. So I'll just say cheers. Got myself a cup of coffee. Gonna need it in with an early morning flight like this. That's good. All right. Now the ATIS has come online as well. Amsterdam Tower has come online. So as far as I'm concerned, we might just start this flight. I expect the center controller to be online as well later on, but we'll see. It would not hurt to try to voice UNICOM either for some fun. But there's going to be definitely ATC at Innsbruck as well. So let me just get the radio active here. There we go. And we'll tune the ATIS of Amsterdam on 13297.
Temperature 102.9 QNH. No significant change. End of information Alpha.
Voice ATIS is
This
still
is
not
Schiphol information Alpha. Alpha main landing runway 18 center.
fully working.
0150 degrees 9 knots, variable between 120 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Few clouds at 700 feet. Temperature 102.9 QNH 84 hectopascal. No significant change. End of information Alpha.
Alright, I could not pick everything up. Let's see if it keeps working now.
This is Schiphol information Alpha. Alpha main landing runway 18 center. Transition level 50150 degrees 9 knots, variable between 120 and 180 degrees.
It's a bit broken, I'm afraid, so I'm just gonna call up the text ATIS as well. Maybe that will work. Schiphol information Alpha, main landing runway 18 center. I'm not sure what the departure runway is, so we'll see. It's gonna be either runway 24 or runway 18 left. And Amsterdam radar just came online as well, so that's great, amazing. QNH 0984, so need to add a little bit to that, and no significant change. Yeah, wind 150 degrees 9 knots. Okay, so yeah, pretty normal weather here for the Netherlands. I can see out of this window that the sky is looking quite blue. A few clouds here and there, so not bad. Okay, so we got the ATIS information Alpha. Maybe I will listen to it again in a few minutes, and I'll just get the final things ready aboard the aircraft. Alright, so let me just tune up the tower frequency that's online, 100.225. The ATIS has not updated in the meantime, so we'll just hear what the what the runway for departure is. The first waypoint on a flight plan is Edupo, which means we're going to fly one of the Rendy departures out of Amsterdam, so we'll just hear and see. So let's see if there's tower is working properly. 19225 tuned. We are parked, let me just show you. We are parked right here, Charlie 7. So we'll start pushback shortly with the nose towards north, and then via Alpha 5, Alpha 8, we're going to taxi further out. So this gives you a bit of an idea of what we can expect regarding the taxi. Otherwise, it's quite quiet, not a lot of traffic around, but that's nice for fun, for a change. It's a bit of a quiet flight. Looking forward to it. So let's see. Let's ask some clearance. I'll just write down Rendy right here. Departure runway is unknown, but we'll see. And let's hope everything is working on their end. Of course, they have to provide ATC from a remote location with, I think they're running on 4G internet maybe. So let's see how it goes. I have to get used to saying good morning right now to the controller. That's quite different. Let me just check the ATIS one more time. No, nothing changed. Schiphol Tower, goedemorgen, Transavia 909 X-ray stand Charlie 7 with information Alpha requesting clearance to Innsbruck. Again, the transmit light is so fast. Transavia 99 X-ray.
Transavia 99 X-ray, goedemorgen. Ik zit Innsbruck, A2 to X-ray departure. 118 center, squawk 3163.
Okay, let me just take a look at the charts for that, because I'm not sure what departure that is. Clear to Innsbruck, Randy to X-ray departure, runway 18 center, squawk 3163, Transavia 99 X-ray.
Transavia 99 X-ray, to confirm a depot to X-ray departure.
Correction, a depot to X-ray departure, runway 18 center, Transavia 99 X-ray.
Transavia 99 X-ray, is back.
Okay, you know, this is clear that they're transmitting from a remote location because I could not really understand that. But I suppose he said, you know, report ready for, report fully ready for start of pushback. But that's okay. Let me just get the right chart here. So runway 18 center is active. Does not happen very often. So runway 18 center is actually the only one that's active. So I picked the wrong first waypoint. Actually, the first waypoint is going to be a depot. In that case, I could have also used the FMC, of course. 18 center, a depot to X-ray, takeoff speeds deleted, yes, execute. And let me just select some new takeoff speeds. In that case, 142, 143, 147. Okay, that's not changed. Okay. There we go. And then we'll do a little bit of a departure briefing very shortly. Let's do the departure briefing. As I said before, we're parked here at Charlie 7, so pushback, then we'll taxi around onto Alpha 8 and then Alpha 6, and then we'll probably taxi via the south, I think, I'm not sure. So either via the south via Quebec or via the north all the way via Bravo to runway 18 center. So yeah, not the runway you usually depart from, so to Whiskey 1 or Whiskey 2 probably. Once we arrive there, we're going to fly the depot to X-ray departure, which means we're going to fly on a 183 degrees track to Echo Hotel 046. I'm just going to check in the background whether that's all set in the flight management system as well. And then left turn heading 118 to Echo Hotel 026, then to Ivlet, and then right Lunix Randy, and let's see, Randy has a restriction, bottom for 65 or above. Okay, that's all correct. And then to Randy, and then we finally arrive at a depot. Okay. Let's take a look. Any further restrictions? No. We will meet all restrictions. Initial climb is of course flight level 60 at Amsterdam, and yeah, looking good. So pretty straightforward departure. Nice left turn. Should have some pretty nice view over the Netherlands as we climb out. And that's about it. Transition altitude is of course 3000. Remain on the tower frequency until passing 2000 feet, and then contact Schiphol departure 1212. And then we also have Amsterdam radar. Okay, so that's a bit of an overview for the departure for you. And let me just run through the final items of the checklist, and then we should be getting ready to go shortly. Anyway, we should be ready. The aircraft is configured. Let me just turn on the flight directors on, and we'll do the V4 star checklist. Flight deck door is, well, it's actually open, but it's closed and locked inside the sim. Fuel, we got 8.5 tons of fuel as planned, and the pumps are on, including the center tanks, but they will probably run empty on departure, so we'll keep an eye on that. Passenger signs are on, window is locked on my side and on the other side as well. MCP, we got V2, we have 147 heading 183, altitude 6000. Takeoff speeds, we got V1 142, 143 and V2 147, and let me not forget to set the trim to 5.23 units. Something you can easily forget, especially if you don't fly that often. CDO pre-flight has been completed, rudder and aileron trim are free and at 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing has been completed, and the anti-collision light is on. That completes the before start checklist. Okay, so we should be ready to go. I'm just going to tune the next frequency already in the standby, 1212. And then we should be able to push back. Let me just check if there's any traffic anyway. No, got an aircraft right here. Yeah, we should have a clear way. And we are facing north. If he tells us to face south, we have to reload GSX. But we'll see. And Transavia 99 X-ray, Charlie 7, fully ready.
Transavia 99 X-ray, information Alpha, QNH984, small pushback startup approved.
Startup pushback approved, information Alpha, QNH984, Transavia 99 X-ray. Okay, well, the before start checklist is completed. Transponder is on. And we will start the pushback. Okay, and we'll just start number 2 and 1 in sequence. So, anti-collision lights on. Yeah, brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
There we go. Off we go to Innsbruck. Turn the packs off. There we go. Fuel bleeds on. We don't need the local lights because it's, of course, daylight, and we will start the engine number 2. And we'll add the fuel. You can see a bit of cloud right now. As you can see, it's just a few low clouds here and there. Kind of resembles the weather that I can see out of my window, so that's good. And of course, the frame rates are a bit low here at Amsterdam. I'm sorry, but it probably will be better at Innsbruck. This is just a heavy scenery area. Can't do much about it. Okay, engine number 2 stabilized and start number 1. We have a nice view over the panorama deck, as you can see, with the Fokker 100 on top of it. Some people sometimes ask me in the comments whether aircraft is actually there. Well, it's actually there in real life. You can actually enter the cabin and see the cockpit, so it's quite nice. Of course, they removed the engines and all instruments, but we'll add the fuel.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brakes set. And the starter is cut out. Okay, we have 2 good engine starts. There we go. Let's turn on the generators. Low beats. Engine NTI is not required, 10 degrees. Turn on the backs. And we can turn the APU off. There we go. Auto brake RTO. Flaps 5 for departure today. And we will do the flight control check. So flaps are at 5. Ground equipment is removed, as you can see, looking good. Oh, that's 1 notch too far. Flaps 5, there we go. And we will check the flight controls. Rudder left, and right. Okay, that's all been checked. Okay, everything has been set, everything has been checked. And we'll do the before taxi checklist. The generators are on, probe beat on, NTI is not required, isolation valve is auto, and start switch is continuous. The recall is checked. No door warning this time. Auto brake RTO, flaps 5 with the green lights, engine start levers idle detent, flight controls have been checked, and the ground equipment is clear. Okay, before taxi checklist completed. In that case, we can ask for the taxi clearance. Now let me just pick up the airport chart, see how we are going to be directed, either via the port or via Quebec. Transavia 99 X-ray, request taxi.
Transavia 99 X-ray, Holdenboot Whiskey 1, runway 1 center via Alpha 8.
Whiskey 1, runway 18 center via Alpha 8 and Bravo in the north, Transavia 99 X-ray. Okay, that's clear. Taxi lights on. Yes, that's been checked. So I'll just quickly show you the taxi route. Basically, we are going to be taxiing here Alpha 8, then to Bravo, and then via the north we're going to taxi to Whiskey 1 right here at 18 Center. Okay, so that should work out well. So we'll turn around right here, and Alpha 8 is towards the left. It's actually parallel to the gates right here. Take it nice and easy. It's early morning. Okay, second to the left, it will be Bravo. There we go. And now we'll taxi towards runway 2709er. And then to the right to runway 18 Center. So yeah, quite nice to have a different runway for departure for a change. I think they're just using single runway ops to kind of, you know, show VATSIM off maybe at the FS weekend to, you know, show what it looks like to accommodate a lot of traffic into a busy airport. So that's kind of fun. KLM 747. Let's enjoy them while they're still here. I don't see the departing traffic. Oh yeah, there he is. See. Nice. Gears already up, it seems. And we got a 747 Martinair taxiing in front of us. So it's a blue morning. So 747 will probably depart in front of us, so we'll probably have some time to spare to wait for the wake turbulence of this aircraft. And as you can see, we are crossing the highway here. So if you drive on this highway in real life, you can see the airplanes taxiing over it, which is quite nice. He's definitely there at the FS weekend as well, I can hear that. You might be able to recognize his voice. It's Dave Roberts, the controller at Amsterdam. Also streams on Twitch. So make sure you check out this stream as well. It's always nice to hear the other side of the radio. So you can kind of check how you sound. It's busy there. VATSIM audio in 4G probably doesn't work very well. Nice. Okay, Whiskey 2, Charlie 2 is right here. And then Whiskey 1 should be next. And then we'll get ready before takeoff checklist. Flaps 5 with green light, stabilized trim 5.3 units and sets. That completes the B4 takeoff checklist.
X-ray line up and wait, traffic.
Line up and wait, runway 18 Center, Transavia 99 X-ray. Okay. We'll put the transponder on. Landing steady, strobe and steady. Sorry. And there we go. 18 Center. And as you can see, 747 has departed. It's in the distance. I have him on the TCAS. And I'll turn the weather radar on this side. Alright, could be a little bit better lineup. Parking brake is set. Yes. Clear for takeoff, 18 Center, Transavia 99 X-ray, bedankt. Okay, there we go. The landing lights, are they on? No? No, they are on. There we go. We are clear for takeoff. Engine's looking stable. And take off. thrust is set. Knots. V1 rotates. Foster rate, gear up. Handoff. There we go. Good. As you can see, fall has started, so the landscape is not very green anymore. Bit of a crossing from the left currently.
Detecting the holding point with gewonnen, 4 Bravo, Karen 6 Romeo Bravo.
And we will accelerate to flaps up speeds.
Nee, audio flikkert steeds uit.
Well, audio is still working.
Goodbye Charlie, bye bye.
1212, there we go. They're having some problems. But I could hear them. Departure, goedemorgen, Transavia 99 X-ray, Dupo 2 X-ray departure, passing 2700.
Morgen, flight level 130.
Climb flight level 130, Transavia 99 X-ray. Okay, flight level 130 is set, the flaps are 1. And I'll put the flaps up and VNAV. Look at the view. This is autumn in the Netherlands, guys. Looks quite nice, doesn't it? Okay, past transition altitude, VNAV speeds, there we go. Let's just fly manually for a bit further and we'll turn off the center pumps. Okay, I'll do the before or the after takeoff items after this turn. There we go. Looks quite nice, doesn't it? And we are transitioning through the clouds. There we go. Okay, it's all looking good. Just put the gear off. There we go. And auto brakes off. And the after takeoff checklist in the meantime. Engine bleeds are on. Packs are auto. Landing gear up and off. Flaps up. No lights. And altimeter standard. After takeoff checklist is completed. There we go. Visibility is getting a bit better. You see, nice blue sky. And I'll tune 12575 in standby.
Transavia 99 and exit for them 135 days on 75.
12575, Transavia 99 X-ray, tot ziens. Okay, we are going to Amsterdam radar, and as you can see we have a nice view over Amsterdam to our left. And with the IJsselmeer here, right, the big lake that we have in the Netherlands. Got some nice cirrus clouds and some big clouds in front of us, looking good. Okay, 12575, here we go. Still flying manually, still doable, so why not? Of course, could be a bit more precise, but that's okay for now. Amsterdam, goedemorgen, Transavia 99 X-ray, passing flight level 110 inbound inlet.
Transavia 99 X-ray, goedemorgen, climb flight level 250.
Climb flight level 250, Transavia 99 X-ray. I heard a Morse code in the background there. Didn't know I did turn that on. Okay. Autopilot Alpha in command. There we go. There we go. Direct Germinghausen, Transavia 99 X-ray. Okay, we got a direct to Golf Mike Hotel Germinghausen to VOR and executes. Not sure why that ADF is tuning all the time. Should be disabled right now. So as you can see, quite a lot of clouds here. They look pretty good, don't they? Okay, we'll await further instructions from Amsterdam radar. Don't think that there will be another frequency after this, so probably we'll monitor UNICOM after this one. But we'll see. Let's take a quick look. Estimated time of arrival is now 10:48 Zulu, so that's 11:48 local time. So that's nice and early. But again, it's Innsbruck, so it may happen that we arrive a little bit late. For some reason, the ADF frequency is turning itself on. The ADF knob. But that's not a huge problem. But I still wonder why. Look at these clouds, they're quite big. Wow. Fluffy as well. So we cannot see much of the Netherlands, unfortunately. A bit of a wing view here. No, we can't see much, right? We saw more during departure, it was kind of a nice view. Climb flight level 350, Transavia 99 X-ray. Okay, flight level 350 is set. Checked. And let me just give you a view on the left. Look at these clouds, aren't they beautiful? Although the clouds in FS 2020 probably will look better. You don't have to do it with this. It doesn't look that bad actually. Nice. The aircraft's having a bit of trouble with the wind, as you can see. It's trying to correct itself for the crosswind. I'll just monitor how it goes. I might have to just redirect to Germinghausen one more time to make it stable. I think there will be actually some snowfall in Innsbruck this weekend. Well, it's actually already weekend, but in the upcoming days. Of course, you know, with the fall season, it's already likely that snow will pop up. Okay, well, just redirect to Germinghausen one more time. Hopefully that will stabilize the aircraft a bit, because I'm searching for the proper route. UNICOM 122.8, Transavia 99 X-ray, veel plezier daar nog. Okay, 122.8, so this is going to be the first time I'm actually joining the voice UNICOM. But I don't expect to hear much traffic. Of course, we're restricted to a 15 nautical mile radius, so basically then we actually have to see the aircraft on TCAS before we you know, hear anyone. But that's okay. You can take it nice and easy. Might need to take a trip to the bathroom as well, so doesn't hurt to have no latency at this point. So as you can see, we are now flying above Germany, pretty much above the Frankfurt area. And yeah, we'll soon take a look at the approach into Innsbruck. The ATIS has just showed up. It's quite far in the distance. We'll probably not be able to pick up much good radio quality, but we'll see. We'll just try it. The ATIS frequency is 126025. And we can also hear which runway is active, whether we need to do the circle to land, and kind of take a look at the current winds, whether they've changed to the gusty winds that were expected later on during the day.
Between 140 and 230 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Few clouds at 2,300 feet, scattered 3,400 feet, broken 5,800 feet. Temperature 112.10 QNH 984 hectopascal, temporary scattered 600 feet, scattered 1,500 feet, broken 2,000 feet, end of information, Alpha. Alpha.
quite low clouds.
Open information Alpha. Alpha main the landing runway 21. Transition. Lead pull 50170 degrees 6 knots variable between
I'm on the wrong ATIS.
230 degrees. Visibility 10
I see what's the problem right
Few
now.
clouds at 2,300 feet scattered 3,400
This is interesting.
feet broken 5,800 feet.
The Eindhoven and
Temperature
Innsbruck ATIS are the same
112.10
frequency.
QNH 984 hectopascal.
So what we're hearing right now is
600
two
feet scattered
ATIS frequencies
2,500
transmitting
feet
at the same
broken,
time.
2,000 feet end of information Alpha.
So pretty much we're not able to receive Innsbruck ATIS. So the ATIS frequency of Eindhoven is 12602 and Innsbruck is 12602. So you're now kind of you're constant blocking them because they're in the same range, and we both we can hear them both at the same time. This is the VATSIM audio, guys. That's just something that happens. Okay, I'm just gonna go off the frequency, and then we'll just use the text ATIS of Innsbruck for now. But that's quite interesting, right? That's just two frequencies, same frequencies. That's something we cannot avoid. So. Anyway, let me just take a look at the Innsbruck information. Tango, runway in use by ATC, transition level not determined, wind variable 4 knots, visibility more than 10 kilometers, clouds few 2,000 feet, okay, that's quite low. Scattered 6,000, broken 20,000, few temperature, temperature 10, dew point 7, QNH 902, and temporary winds, okay, that I have the wrong QNH as well, of course, 902. Temporary wind 270 degrees 8 knots. Okay. Advice on initial contact. You have information Tango. Alright. So that's the text ATIS for Innsbruck. So it depends a little bit on the weather, basically, which runway we're gonna pick. ATC will be determining that. Transition level is not determined, but we'll probably just well, let me just review the approach first of all. And I'll check in the background again with the FMC whether we have all the restrictions in there. We'll probably just fly on a local QNH during the entire approach. That's probably the best option. So there we go. We have Tulsi. That's where we're going to arrive. 9,500 feet or above, as you can see. And then we'll fly to Rattenberg. There's a good chance we have to hold at Rattenberg, so we have to take that into account. And in case we hold at Rattenberg, we will do so with an 226 degree inbound course and a right turn, and we'll see what flight level that will be. So of course, because there are a lot of aircraft in the approach, it might happen that we have to wait before we can enter the valley. So that's that. Then we fly the localized DME East approach. Basically means from Rattenberg heading 210 to Atwijk. Let's take a look, 9,500, and then we basically intercept the localizer. From experience, I know it's kind of off from, the actual LNAV path, so I have to see. Probably just intercept the localizer, remain VNAV. At 19 DME, we're going to start descent. You can see 17 DME, 14 DME. We have some altitude advisories there, so we'll just keep a good lookout on the DME, see whether we are making the flight path, and then to 6.3 DME Oscar Echo Victor. This is the missed approach point for runway 26. So if we land on runway 26, then we are going to decide here whether we're going to continue or not. We have to be visual with the runway, of course. In case of missed approach, of course, due to the valley, this is going to be interesting. We have to climb on the localized course 255 with the maximum gradient, so just climb very fast to 1 DME of Oscar Echo Victor, and turn left and onto 0602 Romeo Uniform Mike, so that's the NDV right here, and then we fly the localizer outbound 075 with maximum gradient. Then 14 DME we're going to turn left to Rattenberg, so basically we'll be doing that manually. So I will just tune the Rattenberg or the Oscar Echo Victor 111.1 already in the navigation radio. There we go. And of course this localizer is offset, so we have to take into account there will be a glide slope indication as well. We might be able to use that one as well. We'll just keep a good eye on it. But the localizer is offset, so we'll not end up at the runway. And there's some UNICOM chatter going on in the meantime. So that is kind of what the approach will look like. In case we're going to do the visual approach, we're going to continue to fly to 4.2 DME, and then we'll just continue visually, kind of heading 230 to the edge of the valley, as you can see. 264, 3.5 DME at 3,700 feet. We're going to do this all, and 160 knots, and then 3.5 DME. We're going to turn right to land at runway 08. Okay. In case we do the visual approach and we decide to go around, we'll basically do a right turn instead, and then we'll follow the same procedure. Okay. So yeah, quite challenging due to the high terrain, of course. So I'll have the terrain display on my side in the meantime. And then we'll keep the weather radar on the first officer side. But we'll have to take a look at the clouds. That's kind of interesting, what the clouds will do, whether we can do the visual approach. The visibility is good enough, but if there is a cloud blocking the view for some reason in the valley, it's a bit more tricky. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Okay, so that's kind of an overview of the approach. And then the airport itself, yeah, we'll just land using autobrake 3, flaps 40, and then we'll vacate at Bravo if we can make it. And we'll taxi to the apron. Alright, so that's the plan for now. So I'll just select the VREF right here. Flaps 40, 141, just see how much fuel we're going to burn. We're going to estimate 4.9er. So we're still going to burn 1.1 tons, so we end up with 63.9. So flaps 40, 140 knots, and then we'll apply a wind correction later on as well. 111.1, and the initial course is going to be 255. And I'll also tune the outbounds, probably on the first officer side, just to be sure. 111.1 and 111.1. And the Romeo uniform mic has been tuned as well, which is 320 degrees. That's the one we have to fly to in case we go around, at 6.3 DME, then a left turn, and then we'll, as you can see, 14 DME direct to Rattenberg, and we'll climb. Let's take a look to 9,500. So that's the missed approach altitude for this approach. Okay. To Rattenberg, and then we'll hold there, and then we'll see from there what we'll do next. Okay, so quite challenging. Let's take a look at how it goes. It's been a while since I landed at Innsbruck, but it's always challenging. You have to keep a very good eye out on the vertical profile especially, but we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, we got some weather here and there, as you can see, but I don't think it's a factor. It looks like it's down below, so I don't think that will be bothersome for us. And so far the turbulence is not that bad actually. Haven't experienced much turbulence so far. So just for my own reference, I'm also going to put in the Romeo uniform mic, and then basically we'll do the radial opposite to that, so we can kind of see what kind of turn we have to make, because we're going to be flying the entire missed approach procedure manually pretty much, until we are intercepting the outbound course of Oscar Echo Victor. So I'm just going to put the radial in here. So 180 plus 60 is 240, and the distance doesn't really matter. Okay, and then as you can see, if we put it in, take a look at the plan modes, see if you can see the radial in there, whether it's all properly set. Give you kind of an overview of the approach as well in the meantime. Rattenberg, Atwijk, and I'll zoom in a little, and I'll follow the entire localizer approach. As you can see, runway 26, so Romeo uniform mic is in there. As you can see, in case we go around, we need to make a quite sharp turn here. So that's going to be interesting. So as you can see here in the FMC, we also have all the restrictions, of course due to the high terrain, so it's always good to cross-check these. So for example, 17 DME 8,700 or above, 14 DME 7,500, 9 DME 5,500, and then Mike Lima 26 kind of the missed approach point again for runway 26. And as you can see, it coincides with the chart, and it's very important to follow this because as you can see, there's of course a lot of high terrain under the glide slope. Okay, so that's the kind of the plan, and it would be nice to do the, the circling visual to runway 08, but it really depends on ATC what they give us. It might just be runway 26, but we'll see. And of course, here at Innsbruck, it's very important to get the QNH right as well. If the QNH is way off, then you might hit the mountain. Yeah, it's as simple as that. So you have to be careful. And so one more thing I want to mention for this approach, it's very important that you really fly at 160 knots or less at the missed approach point for runway 26. So that's kind of right here, 6.3 DME, because you just don't want to fly fast. You don't want to fly this approach fast. You want to take it easy. We might even have to put the gear down already at once we descend, because it's quite a steep descent, steeper than usual. So we might have to add some drag early on. But you really want to make sure you fly nice and slow, especially when you start the visual approach procedure. But also, for the go around procedure, just fly at 160 and climb, and a very steep turn right here. As you can see right here, there's an altitudes climbing up all the way to 7,000 feet. So yeah, it's tricky, and you have to be careful. And so once we start the visual approach, which we're gonna start at 4.2 DME, just fly slow 160 knots, and then here on the kind of the downwind leg, flying at 3,700, you can start slowing down to the final approach speed, flaps 40, and just make sure you're in full landing configuration by 3.5 DME of Oscar Echo Victor, so you can start the right turn into the valley. Okay, so yeah, just make sure you manage your speed and don't rely on VNAV here. VNAV probably will not do a good job, especially when there's a lot of wind, so you might have to do some manual stuff, and then maybe throw down the gear early on and put some flaps out as well. So this is the situation on VATSIM right now. As you can see, we're flying in the middle of Germany. There does seem to be quite some traffic on the ground here, so it's going to be busy. Ooh, so hopefully we still have a space to park. I don't know, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of aircraft on the approach, and that's nice. So there might be still some room for us on the approach, but the parts of course have to be separated as well, so it's delay is expected. So as you can see, we are approaching our top of descent, so let's just do the descent checklist. Pressurization landing altitude, that's actually a good one. I did not select that one yet, so let's take a look. Airport elevation is 1900 feet, 1907. There we go. Landing altitude has been set, 1907. The recall is checked. Auto brake is going to be 3. Landing data VREF. We have VREF 140 degrees, flaps 40, and the minimums are set at 3,700 feet or 6.3 DME if you have the approach to runway 26. Approach briefing has been fully completed, so the descent checklist has been completed. There we go. And I'll just select the lower altitude. There's no ATC yet in range, or at least I have not received a contact me yet, so I'll just descend myself. Just select an intermittent altitude. When you are descending yourself, just make sure you descend kind of in steps. Of course, make sure you adhere to restrictions on the star if they are there. There we go, we've started our descent. And there's also a bit of weather here and there, but I don't think it's a huge factor, it's just rain. So just keep an eye on that as well. Let me just check out the latest METAR at Innsbruck. Wind is 270 degrees 4 knots, so technically we could land at 26. Visibility is good, more than 10 kilometers, view at 5,000, scattered 8,000, broken to 20,000. Temperature 10, dew point 7, QNH is 9 or 902. That's been set in the standby, no significant change expected. So we'll see what the ATC tells us. Maybe they ask us what the what approach we would like. In that case, we'll probably just go for runway 08. Why not? And information is uniform. Any changes? No transition level determined. But we'll just use 9,500 feet. We'll use QNH 902. And yeah, visibility is good. Clouds are a bit higher right now, so that's nice. So clouds should be no factor at this time. But the wind has not increased any bit yet, so yeah, we'll see. Oh, and actually there's some snow already right here. There, look at that. Well, in the sim at least. And in terms of fuel, we're doing good as well. 5.1 tons left. Minimums were set at 2.4, the final reserve plus alternate. So yeah, if we reach that amount of fuel, we will divert to Munich instead. Because yeah, of course, you know, landing at Munich is probably easier than landing at Innsbruck in case there's just too much traffic, or if you know, the traffic is really a big factor. And as you can see, I think that's Munich over here, right? Or is that Nuremberg? Oh, that's Munich over here, right here. It's popping up just through the clouds. And I can already see some Alps in the distance. There we go. We are approaching the mountains. That's nice. Okay, we got a contact me from Innsbruck. Innsbruck radar, 119275. There we go.
Easy 17, Innsbruck radar.
Innsbruck radar, good morning, Transavia 99 X-ray with information uniform.
Transavia 99X, information Victor is current, expect localizer DME East approach via direct Advik.
Direct Outwick and localized DME East approach, information Tango, is that correct, Victor?
Transavia 99X, information Victor is current.
Copied, information Victor, Transavia 99 X-ray.
99 X-ray, and when ready start descent to be levered 9500 at Advik.
When ready, descent 9500 at Advik, Transavia 99 X-ray. Okay, so we have been received a direct to Advik, 9500, and I'll just select the local QNH already. There we go. And then we'll start descending to reach Advik at 9500. And from there on we'll do the localized DME East approach, as you can hear. Let me just check out the ATIS one more time.
Okay, now we're descending to Pushback.
Doesn't look like much changed. QNH has changed to 991. Clouds are still the same. Becoming wind 090 degrees, 12 knots, gust 25. So yeah, the winds are gonna pick up. So there's more chance that we actually do the visual approach. That's nice. Okay. Let me just add some spoilers so we really reach that restriction to Advik. Don't want to fly fast, so I'm just gonna add speed brakes this time. There's some weather right here on the approach as well, so we'll have to take a look how bad that is, but I suppose it's just rain. Oh, gotta love these views. The winds are quite picking up, as you can see, so it's going to be a challenging approach this time. A lot of clouds. Going to turn the landing lights on already on this one, and the engine start switch continuous, just so I don't forget all that stuff once we get closer. So this is really a kind of an approach you have to fly with two pilots in reality, of course. Okay, we're still on profile, looking good, and as you can see the mountains are getting closer now. We won't be able to see that much due to the clouds, but that's okay. And we will start decelerating now. And Advik is just before 19 DME. It's 2 miles from 19 DME. It's before we have to start the descent onto the glide slope. But yeah, luckily we don't have to hold at Rattenberg this time. So apparently there's not a lot of aircraft on the approach, so we can just do pretty much straight in. So I'm just gonna add speed brakes already because I want to make sure we really slow down. As you can see, the winds are quite picking up a lot. And I just don't want to, you know, be at 250 knots, you know, at Atwick just before we start descent, because you know, when you start the descent on this glide slope, you know, it's going to be very hard to slow down because it's a more steep descent than usual. Okay, 9,500. There we go. And we're slowing down nicely. Just stay on VNAV path for now. Don't hear the
Transavia
controller.
999 X-ray, you are cleared for the localizer DME East approach, report established.
Cleared localized DME East approach and report established. Transavia 999 X-ray. 999 X-ray, it's kind of difficult to pronounce. Okay, so we're cleared for the approach. We have the localizer active. And I'll just select 4 lock for now. And I'll get rid of the speed brakes for now. Speed brakes are armed.
Flight level 160,
And I'll just select flaps 1 already, because we're going to need to drag a little bit. And we'll just do the approach checklist. Altimeters 991 set. Okay, 4 lock is captured, as you can see. And we'll just keep descending. We'll select the new altitude 3,700. And we're at 21 DME right now. And I'll just select heading 254 according to the FMC. Select flaps 5. And I see the glide slope as well, so let's arm approach. And we'll just follow the glide slope as well on this one. That should work. Yeah, glide slope captured as well. So right now we're just going to keep a good eye on the DME and the distance. So 19 DME we have to be 9,500. Next checkpoint is 17 DME at 8,700. And I'll tune the tower frequency 1201 in the standby. Okay, I'll select flaps 10 already. Just for the drag. So we can fly 170 knots. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of an offset between the LNAV route and the actual localizer. That's okay. Okay, we are 70 DME, 8,700 is checked. That's all correct. And we are descending into the valley. Not much to see. And I'll just put the gear down, flaps 15 already. So we can start slowing down properly. Okay, next checkpoint 14 DME, 7,500. But so far it's looking good. But I cannot see the airport yet, so it's going to be challenging. Let's see. And the winds are, we now have quite a bit of a tailwind, so that's also good to add some drag. Okay, we missed 14 DME, but we're on profile. 9 DME, 5,500. And I'll just put all the landing lights on. Looking good so far. And hopefully we can ask for runway 08, but we have to check whether the visibility is good enough. I can see in the distance the airport already, but it's kind of difficult to see.
DC 5 for Golf and you're leaving my airspace, UNICOM 1228, bye.
122 decimal 8, dank dir und bis wieder. Ciao, ciao, easy copy.
Okay, we're still on profile.
Transavia 909X, are you established?
Oh, we've got that. Sorry about that. Transavia 99 X-ray established on localizer DME.
909X, no problem. Contact Innsbruck Tower 1201, bye bye.
1201 Transavia 99 X-ray, bye bye. Okay, we'll go to tower 1201. That's been checked. In the meantime, reaching 9 DME 5500, that's correct. Innsbruck Tower, good morning, Transavia 99 X-ray on the localizer DME East approach.
Transavia 99 X-ray, Servus, good day. We have wind in Innsbruck, variable 5 knots, maximum 15 knots, runway 26, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 26, Transavia 99 X-ray. Okay, so it's runway 26 this time. That's okay. In that case, we'll start slowing down to 160 for now. And we'll select flaps 25. And missed approach point is 6.3 DME, as you can see. It's now 6.7. So from here on, we'll take over manually. Set the missed approach altitude to 9,500. There we go. Okay, 6.3 DME, and we'll take over manually. There we go. Autopilot auto throttle disconnected. And I'll just turn off or recycle the flight directives here. And then we will, okay, flaps are already going to 30. Select the final approach speed 145. And flaps 40. And let's do the landing checklist. Engine switch is continuous. Speed brake is armed. Landing gear is down. Flaps are not going to 40 yet. Probably because the speed is still too high, so let's reduce. Runways inside though, we're looking good. We have to ignore the localizer and glide slope indications now, of course. And the flaps are going to 40, there we go. And flaps 40, landing checklist completed. Look at the view, guys. Amazing, isn't it? Okay, fully manual flight right now. You can see the runway properly. Go around right now, it's going to be a left turn. It's quite some tailwinds, but it's okay, it's still within limits, I think.
Hello Tower, this is November 618 Golf. Now we are descending to 3,700 from 4,400 and about 10 nautical miles to Oscar.
Okay, looking good. The winds are quite challenging, I can feel that.
You're interested?
Slowly correcting for the localizer, well, center line really. Phew.
Sync rate.
November 618 at Golf.
There we go.
Approach runway 26 of wind.
Speeding up. And reversers. Normal. Okay, we're not gonna make this exit, unfortunately. Manual braking. Not sure why the reversers didn't kick in, but that's an hardware issue. But there we go, we've arrived at Innsbruck. There we go. And we will exit and turn here at the end of the runway. It was quite challenging, I have to say. The winds were really kicking in on the tail. I could really feel that we're kind of sinking, you know, at the last moment. But we've safely arrived. One brakes off. I hope you enjoyed that though, guys. Okay, landing lights off. And we'll turn on the taxi lights, there we go.
Transavia 99 X-ray, willkommen in Innsbruck. Welcome to Innsbruck. Taxi to the apron via Alpha, stand of your choice.
Taxi to the apron via Alpha to stand of choice. Thank you very much, Transavia 99 X-ray. Okay, there's one more aircraft on the approach, as you can see on the TCAS right here. So we'll make sure we swiftly vacate. Turn the weather radar off on this side. What a challenging landing. I mean, Innsbruck is always challenging, even if you don't do the visual approach to runway 08. It's always challenging. Okay, flaps up.
November 618 to Golf. Wind variable 5 knots at maximum 15 knots and into 6 gear to it.
There we go, and it's really nice to arrive in Innsbruck with the actual, voice and new audio for VATSIM. It's just amazing. Look at the amount of traffic right here. It's quite busy. Let's see if we can actually find a standstill. And we'll just detune the localizer. In reality, you have to do that as well because it might interfere with other traffic that's using it. Ah, look at the view. I mean, look at those clouds that we have today. Isn't that amazing? So I'm very interested to look back at the actual approach and my landing, because it went rather quickly, but I felt that the aircraft was kind of sinking at the last moment. So I added some power and that kind of broke it down. Otherwise we probably would have kind of smashed it down. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm not sure which stands these are. Not sure if there are actual numbers on here. I don't think so. Let's just turn APU on. Yeah, I don't know. Is it gate close one? That's perfect. Good guess. Then we'll turn right here. Let's see where the guy is. I'm not sure. Oh, there he is. Taxi lights off. There we go. And straight ahead. A little bit to the left. I can see the actual parking line right now. Well, just a few inches further. Yeah. Okay, parking brake set, and we'll let the APU take over. And engines shut off. There we go, guys. We've safely arrived in Innsbruck. Wow. Let me just show you an outside view while the traffic behind us is actually landing. That may be nice to see. Look at that. I'm so happy that this worked out properly this time. Look at the amount of traffic. It's so busy here. Before we turn off the anti-collision lights, if that works. So yeah, as you can see, we've safely arrived. The approach went fine. You know, the localized DME portion went fine. Only on final, you know, it gets busy. You suddenly have to do a lot of stuff at once. But you know, it's important to focus on the flying aspect. So as you can see, the flaps were not at 40 yet because of the high speed. So you know, the final approach portion was a bit challenging. But you know, when you do this visual circling approach to runway 08, there's a bit more room to you know, take care of all of that. But anyways, we safely landed. It was a bit of a challenging landing with the tailwind, but you know, we landed pretty much within the touchdown zone at least. So that's good. So I'm happy, and hope you are happy as well with this VATSIM flight. It's been a long time since I've actually made a complete flight. As you know, in the last video, unfortunately the sim reset itself during the approach into Geneva. But hope this you know, kind of makes up for that. So there we go. There's an aircraft landing right there. Let's see if we can see it. Looks like, oh, it looks like a Cessna actually. It's a small one. And touchdown, I think. Just for the completion, I will just run all through the overhead panel right now. Sure thing, everything is set, and anti-ice is off. Maybe I should have used some engine anti-ice actually, but that's okay. Okay, and yeah, the anti-collision light's off. Looking good. Let's do the shutdown checklist. We'll just set the wheel chocks. Fuel pumps are off, except for this one for the APU. Probe heat is off. Hydraulics panel is set. The flaps are up. The parking brake is can be turned off now. And the engine start levers are cut off and the weather radar is off. Shutdown checklist is completed. So there we go, guys. Safely arrived at Innsbruck. I'm just gonna disconnect from the network right now to make room for other people that are parking and arriving right here. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you next time on the next flight. Take care.